So today we're going to talk about, is time running out to buy gold? So I know some channels are a little bit more doom and gloom than others, and some focus on things like the news and articles that perhaps get blown out of proportion a little bit. And I know things like, if you're looking around in the economy, stuff doesn't always look too rosy. There are plenty of issues there, things like inflation, things like cost of living around the world. There are definitely negative things, and the news does tend to focus on them. So today we're going to talk about the coins that perhaps you are running out of time if you want to buy them at a sensible premium. But overall, are you going to be able to buy gold and silver? I don't think there is any rush to jump in. You don't need to be like racing to your local dealer or online store and buying everything you can. I really don't think that is the case at the moment. I could obviously be wrong, but for me personally, I've done okay by looking at, buying gold over the long term, taking a cost averaging approach, and just buying a little and often to suit my budget at the time. So I definitely don't think it's wise to go all in on any investment, especially not all in at once. I would say that it's good to be a little bit diverse. Maybe there will be a time in the future where that isn't the case. And obviously, if you know exactly what's going to happen with 100% certainty, you can perhaps cycle your cash around into whatever investment is going to perform the best. And if you know that for sure, you can do very, very well. But for most of us, we don't have a crystal ball, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen when. So whilst we might be able to catch general trends, it's pretty unrealistic to expect to catch the very bottom to buy and the very top to sell of every investment you ever make. So the thing is, you don't have to be in at the very bottom to do well with an asset. You could just be in a little bit later and ride up a nice bit of profit and cash out if that is your plan. Or obviously, if you're just ultimately holding until you die, passing it on to the kids, etc., then that is another legitimate approach. You might not live to see the benefit, but obviously family members will. So there isn't really a rush to go and buy everything you can, I don't think. Obviously, if things like hyperinflation set in and there's all sorts of crisis, if these things do happen, they have happened in various places in the world. Whilst they might not have happened where you live or I live, they potentially could. And I'm sure a lot of people who have lived in those kind of places that have happened, I bet they weren't expecting it either. So, always pays to be one step ahead and at least plan for some negative scenarios. But at the same time, things might just carry on nicely for a few years. So it's not worth gambling and, in my opinion, betting the farm on total doom and gloom and missing out on other gains that might have occurred. So, that's reflecting a little bit, isn't it? So the coins that you might really want to be getting hold of, if you haven't already, are some of these 2022 sovereigns. Now, there's always going to be some around. They're just a bullion coin and they're mass produced. There's not a restricted mintage. But if you are on the fence whether to buy one or not, they aren't going to be around in the dealers for much longer as new coins, I wouldn't have thought. So they will obviously come back in second-hand stock for many dealers, over time. But you'll perhaps just be waiting for when that happens. So if you are looking to buy one, that might be the lowest premium time to buy one before they do, sell out. So when you look back, if you want to choose a special or specific year of sovereign from most dealers, you'll have to pay a little bit extra for that. Or you could just gamble and see what comes in the best value. So with it being a special design, like say this one, it could, attract a little bit of premium. Nothing crazy, but probably an extra few percent over your standard bullion sovereigns. I think there will be plenty on the second-hand market. Many people have stocked up on them, anticipating that. So I'd say expect to pay a little bit of premium, but probably nothing too eye-watering if you just want one. And next we have the Tudor Beasts, which are obviously out at the moment. The 2023 Yale is going to be around for a few more months yet. You know, dealers will have probably some more orders of these coming in. So I wouldn't go too crazy on these just yet. But, you know, now's a good time to buy if you are looking for the Tudor Beast series. The Lion, however, is obviously the 2022 coin, and being the first bullion coin in the series, is now being surpassed by the Yale. So if you haven't already got one of these, a lot of dealers have sold out of the quarter ounce, and they're not anticipating getting any more from the mint back in stock. Maybe some of them still have a few 1 ounce Lions left, so it's worth, if you are looking to get these, you know, probably some of the last chance to buy them before you're at the mercy of whatever premiums dealers decide to chuck on. And obviously on the second-hand market, you know, they might also get a bit of premium there. So if we go by the Queen's Beast series, then yeah, you'd have to pay a little bit more to get hold of one of those. So worth bearing in mind. But like I say, there'll always be some low premium bullion coins. You know, premiums might go up and down in the future. So you might have to pay more sometimes than others, just depending on, you know, the cycle of the market and sort of, you know, demand, I suppose. If there are supply chain shortages, things like that, then it might be that dealers are waiting for stock to come in, and perhaps, you know, over time they are just, you know, a bit short, so they haven't necessarily got everything you would want to buy at one point. But, you know, a bit of patience, and I imagine they will be getting more in stock. Otherwise, you know, there are other sets around. You know, if you're after doing date runs, things like your typical bullion, you know, American Eagles, Canadian Maples, it makes sense to buy the current year when it is the current year. You know, if you're trying to backdate and catch up, then sometimes things like that do have a bit of premium. The Britannias, you know, the 2023 one, if you do want one with the Queen's head, then again, that will be a limited time before they move on to the new king. So keep an eye out for that one if that is something you are interested in. But I don't really think, you know, in bullion terms, you're going to have to worry too much about that. So I wouldn't rush, wouldn't panic, you know, take your time, keep calm, go and buy coins as and when it suits you. But overall, you know, if you are looking to get some of these certain year coins for a particular collection, you know, you're not really just looking for pure bullion weight, you want certain coins, then it does pay to keep your eye out and see what's around. There are various other series, obviously. There'll be the new the new proof sovereigns coming out, as well. And you'll have to be pretty quick at the mint, I think, to get the proof ones. But just worth bearing in mind on that. Anyone who is, like I say, just stacking bullion, you know, take your time, no rush to get in there. And same with silver, really. You know, if you're after certain dates of things, it just makes sense to get them while they are around and current. But, you know, you might get lucky, you might just have to wait a while on the second-hand market. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if I missed anything. Talk in the comments.